Welcome back. 8:14 right now. The Florida Department of Health monitoring the first measles case in the state this year. A student at Palmetto High School tested positive. That's in Miami-Dade County. The district is cleaning and disinfecting and even offering vaccines to students who don't have one. So far, no other cases have been confirmed. We want to bring in our good friend, Dr. Todd Husty. He is the medical director at the Maitland Fire Department. So good to see you. It's been too long.
It's been a couple of minutes, hasn't it, Amy?
It has, but we always love having you, Doc, so thanks for being here. And this is, right now, a concern of public health. Obviously, one case in Florida, but we know that there's been an outbreak in Texas. There are some other states that have cases. What is your concern?
Well, I think, we talked a lot during COVID, and people were very concerned about the brand new COVID vaccine, which sort of has morphed into being concerned about all vaccines. And unfortunately, prior to vaccination for measles, there was a lot of death, a lot of brain injury, a lot of kids with pneumonia, and the vaccine has basically made that go away until recently. And I think it's because of our hesitation about vaccines in general. This vaccine's been around for 60 years.
Yeah. So, Doc, let's talk about that, because I think one of the first questions that Danielle and I asked each other was, we had that vaccine when we were, babies. Is it still effective? Do we need to be concerned if we had that vaccine, 30, 40, 50 years ago?
So some of your immunity could be waning, but but not that much. I would suggest, sort of like we did with COVID, is that people at risk, which are kids that haven't had measles yet, and don't want to get measles, or if you were as old as I was, you might want to get checked to see. I personally had the measles. They didn't have a vaccine when I grew up. So I got the measles. I probably have lifelong immunity. But for some people, some of the immunity does wane. So you can't get that checked. Talk with your doc about it. But you don't have any reason to be worried about it. I don't believe, Amy. So I don't think you need to really get overly concerned.
Let's talk, Doc, just real quick about why people are concerned, though. Like, if you had a kid that went to high school there in Miami with this child, why is it so contagious? Why is there such a concern about it spreading so quickly?
It's just another virus, Amy. I mean, it's just, and it's spread by respiratory droplets, just like the cold virus. The problem is, it's kind of a bad virus, and it's worse than just a cold virus. It gives pneumonia in 1 to 3 out of every 1,000 kids that get it. It gives encephalitis in 1 out of 1,000 kids that get it. It's just a bad virus. So you don't want to get this virus at all, and you don't want your kids to get it.
And if you were a parent who has been hesitant to get this vaccine for your child, and you're seeing these stories now, it's not too late? You can take your child in even if they're 12, 13, 14, and they can still get it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not too late. And please, I understand hesitancy over the brand new COVID virus vaccines, but not over this vaccine. I mean, this thing's been around 60 years. I mean, it has truly helped thousands of people. We were losing, before the vaccine, we were losing tens of thousands of people dying from measles, and it went away. So we could expect, if without vaccination, we could expect 30,000 deaths a year from measles. But we have vaccination, and it's very, very safe. Please be realistic about risk versus benefit. Very, very little risk, huge benefit.
Doc, real quick, you mentioned that you can go check to find out if the MMR that you had as a child is still effective. How do they do that? Is it just a blood test, or what do they do?
They can do a blood test. I wouldn't really necessarily suggest it for most people. I think if your immune system has been squashed by chemotherapy or something like that, you might want to find out if how your antibodies are working. But for the most part, most of us probably don't need to worry about it. For most people, the immunity lasts a lifetime.
All right, good stuff. Always great to talk to you. We love having you. Dr. Todd Husty, Medical Director of Maitland Fire. Good to see you, my friend, and have a terrific weekend.
Thank you for having me, Amy.
You too. Take care. Thank you.